I spent the last 5 years testing every real estate lead generation strategy for real estate investors and wholesalers to generate motivated sellers, from Facebook spam posts all the way to spending $20,000 to $30,000 on Google Ads PPC and generating motivated sellers that need to sell their house. Some of them are total trash, but some of them are quietly printing money like an ATM machine, and I'm going to rank them today from worst to best lead generation tools and channels so you can start getting more results this year. If you're in wholesaling or real estate investing, flipping, this is a perfect video for you to know every single lead generation tool that exists out there and what performs the best. The number one question I get from real estate investors and wholesalers is, what is the best way to generate leads? And the truth is that it depends on your time, your budget, and your team. So I did something crazy. I ran every single lead generation tool possible and channel for the last 5 years, from Craigslist to Facebook spam post to generating ads in Google to doing cold email or cold calling, running SMS blast. Every single channel I ran it so that today I can rank them from worst to best. And some of these are garbage, but some of them are printing money and are highly underrated. So if you stick in this video, the last one is going to surprise you. And there's a few of them that you have never heard of before that you should potentially be trying. I'm giving you the exact tools that you can use for each one of them, the tips and tricks so you can start generating more leads this year. Now let's start with the worst one of all. Number 19 is Facebook ads to attract sellers that really just want to know what their home is worth. This type of ad really attracts people that are just very curious about selling their house and they're not really serious. And these people ultimately need a lot of nurturing, and this is the worst one because the intent is the lowest. And this is why people talk so much crap about Facebook, because a lot of agencies, they generate a lot of these type of leads, or pay-per-lead companies, they generate about all these type of leads that need about 100 leads or 60 to 70 leads in order to convert one deal, because this is a volume game. So only 1 to 3% of those people will actually convert, and the rest will actually require long-term nurture. Number 18 is going to be Craigslist or even Facebook marketplaces. There's a lot of programs like BotFox that used to teach how to actually generate motivated sellers using Facebook marketplaces or Craigslist. And don't get me wrong, this is another way to generate motivated sellers, but you have to actually post a lot, and Facebook actually gives you a lot of limitations to post with your one profile. So you have to create different profiles in order to post in different buy, sell, and rent type of groups in different marketplaces in your market. And this is not really a scalable way to actually get motivated sellers. You can 100% get some traction in if you don't have a lot of budget. That's one of the biggest things about this one. It requires almost no budget. You just need to know what to post, how to get engagement on Facebook groups, and actually post on Craigslist to do the same thing. To get engagement, get people to comment, to actually reach out to you. And the more comments that you get of potential sellers, then you're gonna reach out to these people and actually get a property under contract. Before, Facebook Marketplace itself used to be a very, very good way to actually generate motivated sellers organically. Now, it's just a good way to actually find buyers, but to get motivated sellers, I would prefer to do something else. If you really want targeted leads, this may be one of the weakest one to actually do, because you don't really know if you're speaking with high intent sellers, because there's no way for you to ultimately qualify for the intention of selling their house, because you're just posting short questions on the marketplace, on Facebook groups or Craigslist about potential people that might be interested, curious, or definitely need to sell their house. So you will get a mixed bag of different people. Number 17 is gonna be bandit signs. And a lot of people start this way because it's low cost. You can literally go to any local store that they sell you signs. I'm actually talking about any local store that can give you a we buy houses or we buy ugly houses or cash for homes type of sign, whether it's a yellow background with black font, and then your number in there so you can actually get calls in. And you can put this around your neighborhood. You can put this around places where you know are going to be people that potentially need to sell their house, because you know that there is distressed homes around that area and people will call you in. Well, at least that's the expectation. But the reality is that the city might not actually allow you to do this and will remove your signs very fast, especially if there is specialized areas that are going to clean up against any graffitis or any signs that are not really legal, because this is not a legal way to actually generate motivated sellers. That it works, yes it does, but it's not really the most scalable way or have control of your lead generation. This is just really something that could potentially give you some traction and get you some inbound calls of potential people that want to sell, may need to sell, or just some confused people or angry people that are telling you, don't put this thing in my neighborhood. So the cost is very low, but really you don't have any control over your targeting and scalability with this. This is perfect for newbies, but if you really are a newbie, well, I would be putting my time to something else. One good thing that you can get out of this is that it may attract cash buyers, because they'll see, hey, you're an actual person, because they'll see, hey, you are actually involved in the business, and they may call you to see if you have any deals for them. Number 16, it's gonna be RIA networking events and meetups. For example, I host a sub to meetup every month, and I know that we find cash buyers and we find people that ultimately have a deal, but you have to do this very consistently. A lot of times people will bring you deals to these specific meetups of people that have a deal already under contract, or just potentially a seller that actually needs to sell their house. This is a very slow way to do it, but the good thing is that it creates really strong relationships, and you're gonna be able to have face-to-face conversations with potential buyers and potential sellers. But at the end of the day, this business grows through actual relationships, and you'll be able to get some good word of mouth with this type. However, this is a very time sink type of marketing channel and tool. And yes, you can go to your RIA meetups and you can have 3 or 5 different type of meetups every single month. But at the end of the day, it's just gonna be a lot of time that you have to put into this. And you may build a brand out of this, but I really only recommend this for you to go at least one time every single month. Keep this in your pipeline, but use other channels that are more scalable. You're only gonna be seeing an ROI in the long term. This is going to be building a brand and actually being present with potential buyers and sellers. And this is good because you will create a lot of joint venture opportunities, not necessarily leads, with actual sellers, and maybe some partnerships, or maybe raising some capital, because you're gonna be able to see people that are active in the business. Number 15, manual door knocking. If your door knocking is very high intent, especially if you go to a distressed home or a home that looks like it has been vacant or needs some sort of love. Now, you may be able to actually get either the owner on the home, if the owner is living or is there present, or maybe have a neighbor tell you who the owner is, give you the phone number, and then ultimately give you the contact so you can actually have a face-to-face type of conversation with the owner. Now, this is not predictable or scalable, because you're gonna get your time consumed a lot. And look, either you have money or you have time. And if you have time, you have to use your time preciously, not just by going door to door, unless you create a door-to-door team, whether you would have people like bird dogs that are trained to actually talk to these individual people, and going either biking or in car, or an Uber driver team that will do the door knocking for you. Unless you create this type of systems, I wouldn't really recommend this. And this is really made for newbies, people that don't really have experience in actually generating leads in a very efficient way. Number 14, and a lot of people don't even know about this, but it's going to be cold email to property owners. So when you're skip tracing, and a lot of people know what skip tracing is. Well, if you don't know, go search a video about what skip tracing is, but you can skip trace emails, which is even cheaper than skip tracing only numbers. And this is going to allow you to have a 40% open ratio, and potentially a 5 to 10% click-through rate or reply rate on these emails when you do cold email properly. Look, our demographics, our ideal client profile is always opening emails. Why? Because these are older individuals, and if you find their emails, you're gonna have an opportunity to speak with them in another way that is not just text message. Now, you can cold call, you can do SMS, and I'll cover this later, but cold email is a way that a lot of people are not doing. And if you have a 40 to 50% open ratio and then a 5 to 10% reply ratio, this means that you will be able to get a hold of people that you could not have gotten a hold of if you only did SMS or cold calling. And a lot of pay-per-lead companies, a lot of agencies are currently doing it, and the big companies that they have exhausted every single lead generation channel out there use their data aggregation really well, and they skip trace their emails, their numbers, every single data point possible, and use tools like Instantly to do this cold email approach. Now, it's very important that you use a good copywriting technique, because in cold email, one of the most important things for them to open the email is your subject line, and then how you actually approach the introduction, the very first top part of that body of the email, which would allow you to actually engage and interact with these people. Make sure that you don't sound spammy and have a proper copywriting framework so that it doesn't go to promotions, or that people actually are going to read it, click on it, and reply so you can generate leads and conversations. This is very cost effective, and you can actually generate highly intentional, motivated sellers if you really know how to filter people out and ask them the question about selling their house. If you're skip tracing, then this means that this will be a highly targeted approach, because you can skip trace people that have high equity and potentially give you a good deal. And since you're skip tracing, you can have a high control of who you're going to target. Number 13, it's gonna be driving for dollars. You may have heard of this from different gurus in the internet, and this is a newbie way to actually do it. Now, there's two ways to do it. You can either go grab your car, start driving house to house, and you will just find the different houses that based on looks are gonna be distressed or vacant. And it's gonna be very obvious to see a vacant or ugly house, or just a house that needs a lot of love, or potentially that there is no owner. Or you can grab an app like Deal Machine, which you're gonna find a link in the description below. And it's gonna be very easy for you to see the different distressed homes that exist based on Google Maps or the navigation that your city is gonna have. You can literally go and virtually drive $4 and see the different homes that need some sort of love or are distressed, or it could look like they actually have been vacant. Not only that, but this app actually allows you to skip trace, allows you to understand whether a homeowner has been vacant in that house, or someone that has actually have high equity and some sort of delinquency or some sort of back taxes, or some level of motivation that you're gonna be able to extract from that platform. And this is why one of the best ways to get started in wholesaling. And it's a newbie platform, however, it's a very good data aggregator. And you can actually have a virtual assistant do the work for you, even if you have other marketing channels, because it will allow you to have control of a different type of marketing channel that comes from organic marketing, high intent, and this could give you really good results, because based on judging on the condition of the property, based on the data, you could have high intent motivated sellers. Now, this could be a very high return of investment opportunity for you. However, it might take some time to actually get results from this. And based on this skip tracing and scraping of all these different type of leads that you're getting from driving for dollars virtually, you're gonna have to cold call, cold SMS, or cold email, either way. One of the best things is that if you do this well, there's not gonna be a lot of competition, because you're gonna be able to dominate based on a Google Maps search or just driving for dollars, which is a really good way to get started in wholesaling. Number 12 is gonna be geographic direct mail or farming. And this is a very good approach if you know what you're doing. Now, there's a few ways that you can do this. You can do a broad approach, or you can do a niche filter approach, whether you're targeting absentee owners, pre-foreclosure, or any motivation that you want from sellers. If you do the broad approach, you may take more time to actually get some results because you're not gonna be as targeted, but it's also gonna be cheaper, and you're gonna have to either sacrifice time for money. Now, understand that you do need to send a lot of direct mail. I'm not an expert in direct mail, but you have to understand the cash conversion cycle of direct mail, which usually is from 60 to 100 days cash conversion cycle once you launch a campaign. If you do the niche filter list, which is getting high equity, absentee owners, and different motivations that will help you be more targeted, you could have high intent sellers. But then here's one thing that you may not know. You need to send one after the other one after the other one in a specific cycle, because the first direct mail, you're not gonna open it. Let's be real. Like, a lot of people, they see one direct mail and they're not gonna open it, or they open it and they may not be enticed based on the offer, based on the graphic design or whatever. But then once they see it at the end of the week, or they see it next week, then they're gonna be like, okay, these people are being consistent, and you're probably getting people that are fully aware that there's a problem, fully aware that there's a solution. They just haven't trusted you just yet. So there is some sort of nurturing that you have to do with these seller leads. And that's when you get them. So it may take some time for the campaign to actually hit. You're not gonna have a campaign hit right away. The good thing is that you can have control of the targeting very well, because you are skip tracing a specific addresses that you know that there's potential sellers right there and there. It will be a little bit costly, and you may have to spend at least $3,000 to $5,000 per month in order to get this done. This is not something that I would really recommend for a newbie, because if you don't do it correctly, it's gonna be a lot of marketing spent that you waste. But if you do it with a professional or different tools, you're gonna be able to get some sort of ROI. Here's a few vendors and agencies that I highly recommend that you actually do this with. The first one is gonna be Yellow Letter HQ. I met these people in Family Mastermind, and these people have a very good platform to do this within the platform. And Yellow Letter HQ are only specialized in, well, yellow letter type, right? Which is a direct mail. And they have their own strategy that if you jump in a call with them, you're probably gonna find out. The next one is Ballpoint Marketing. I really like their model because it's kind of like an e-commerce for direct mail or handwritten letters, which you can actually personalize your stuff very well. You can actually buy per letter. Now, you're gonna be able to add it just like in an e-commerce store, and you don't have to just subscribe to like a bulk or like a subscription that is a long-term commitment. So you're gonna be able to choose, kind of like a pay-per-lead model, how many letters you want for that specific campaign. But I suggest that you really do your digging. I know another one like Open Letter Marketing, and I really haven't dove into that one just yet, but you can actually check them out. And the last one that I suggest that you can check them out is REI Print Mail. I know that one of my coaches, Ken Kluder, owns part of this business, and REI Print Mail has been active in the real estate space for a long time, even longer than I've been. And I know that they do really well, and they have hundreds of top of real estate investors, which I actually met in Boardroom Mastermind as their clients. So it's worth that you actually check them out, book a call with them. There's gonna be a link in the description to every single one of the tools that I actually just showed you. Number 11 is gonna be cold calling. And I like this topic because a lot of people hate cold calling. I personally hate cold calling, but if you have a really good team and a really good system to do cold calling, this is gonna be one of the most effective ways to get started or have a balance between inbound and outbound and generate motivated sellers consistently. Now, you can do the broad way and you can also do the niche way. And the broad way will take longer to get some sort of results, but you may also spend less in the data itself. And if you go very niche, then you're gonna have a higher probability to have higher intentional people that may have a problem already, and you may be able to find people that are right there in the limit of high distress or high motivation if you know how to talk to them. Expect that you're gonna find a lot of rejection with this marketing channel. So if your cold callers are not trained properly for rejection, They don't know how to cold call with confidence. They don't know how to go over objections and do different type of rebuttals. Well, you're gonna have a lot of trouble doing this. If you start doing it yourself, you're gonna know how painful it is to do cold calling. So I actually recommend that you use cold calling companies or cold calling services or even virtual teams that can help you do this instead of you doing it yourself. This way you can actually create leverage and use other people's time and expertise so you can only focus on talking with these motivated sellers. Now, it's gonna take some time to get some results depending on how you do the approach of this. If you're just generating leads just to generate leads and you want people that are saying yes to, hey, I want to sell my house, you may have a 6 month to 9 month cash conversion cycle once the first campaign has started. Now, if you have experience, it may be shorter than that because now you have experience talking with these cold callers and you also have a team and the system to generate proper leads. But just expect long cash conversion cycles, way longer than anything else. However, the amount of money that you're gonna spend is gonna be way less than a lot of different highly effective marketing channels. And you can be very targeted and control your targeting because you know what you are skip tracing. If you don't know what to skip trace, go to a proven marketing agency that know what to skip trace so that they'll skip trace it for you and do hundreds of dials per day so you can actually generate leads every single day. And know that 1 out of 50 to 1 out of 70 leads will turn into a deal. So that means that you're gonna have 1 out of 50 generated leads, right, to get a deal done. Just know that as a closing ratio. This is a very good marketing channel for beginners. Now, if you are an advanced individual, I'm gonna tell you how to do this properly and who to use it. So if you're a beginner, you can go to Lead Mining Pros. And I know the owner of that company, Nicholas Nick, and he runs that company like an engine, like a well-oiled machine. It's kind of like a e-commerce store where you can actually go buy lead and dial packages right there and there from their website. Another company that I highly recommend, it's gonna be No Accent Callers. And I know that our company, Remote Latinos, and my business partner recommends people to go to No Accent Callers because I know that they take highly trained cold callers offshore that have no accent or very fluent English to cold call for motivated sellers. And look, it's better that you jump into a call with them and understand whether their model actually works for you because this is an agency model. The other one that I highly recommend is a guy that has made over $100 million in sales in all his career, and he has actually built a multi-million-dollar company here in the United States of about $40 to $50 million per year in the cold calling space as well for another vertical, and this is Lamasu Media. Lamasu has one of the biggest cold calling and call center operations that I've actually seen, and I personally have visited them in Colombia because they have the best cold callers and closers. He calls them fronters in the space. He personally trains every single one of them every single morning. They work from Monday to Saturday and they have killers in that company. Scott Morse, who is the owner of that company, is one of the best and most respected individual in the real estate space. He's also part of Collective Genius and he will blow your mind with his operations. Now, this is a more expensive and premium service that you may want to look at and maybe graduate to that point because it's made only for top people. If you're doing cold calling yourself, you can use tools like Cold Tools or Batch Dialer or even CallRail to do the cold approach to get motivated sellers, unless you're gonna use an agency and they have everything paid off for you. A lot of people also use Mojo Dialer, which is a really good tool to use. I highly recommend that you take a look at the different options and just make a decision yourself of which one is gonna be the most cost effective, but at the same time, it's gonna be the most results based oriented. You don't wanna pay something cheap and then just get cheap results. Number 10 is Ringless voicemail. And look, it's not that just yet. There's a lot of ways that you can go about Ringless voicemail. And there's different strategies that you can actually do with Ringless voicemail, such as leaving a voicemail that is pre-recorded and telling them to call you back, or a voicemail that creates curiosity so that the lead calls you back interested about selling their house. Again, you can only do this if you skip trace your leads, which means that you can control your targeting and know exactly who you're gonna send it to based on different filters like we talked about earlier. Unlike cold calling, you can actually scale this a little bit more. The reason why is because you can just use AI and technology in order to scale it up. While cold calling, you still will need more humans. And I know that there's some AI agents that would cold call for you, but right now it's not perfect. I know that people are gonna know that this is gonna be a robot and not just a human being, because a human being totally behaves differently unless there is some high-tech, very advanced AI agent that know how to talk like a real human and overcome every single objection with the right pace, the right tonality, and the right techniques. So this could be a good way to maximize your data by doing an RVM. Now, I highly recommend tools like Go High Level or Slide Broadcast in order to do this. And the best way to do this is when you have this in a sequence after you have done a cold approach. So if you cold called, if you cold message, if you cold email, and having an RVM in there in that sequence is gonna help you actually create some reports, some nurturing, and you're gonna know that this is gonna go to the same person that you have tried different type of marketing approaches. So this is best to use in a follow-up attempt. If you have done already the cold text or the cold email or the cold call, do RVM and it's gonna help a lot. Number 9 is gonna be SMS marketing. And just like cold calling, you have a high control of your targeting. So if you do niche or broad, then you know what to expect. The good thing about cold SMS is that you can actually have high reply rates. Now, there's something that happened just last year that has stopped a lot of companies from having success with SMS marketing. And is that Twilio and different providers and carriers literally made a huge stop in this. And now you actually have to comply and register every single number on A2P10 DLC registration. And this makes sense because people were really overusing it and they were just spamming every single homeowner possible, where wholesaling actually became a high risk and highly watched vertical or industry for different carriers because there was so much spam and scammers too. One of the best things about SMS marketing is that the cash conversion cycle is a little bit shorter than cold calling. And this is because you're gonna have high reply rates and you can actually be very targeted. Unlike cold calling, you cannot speak with multiple people at once, but with the right SMS tool, you can actually speak with a lot of people at once. Plus, you can actually use AI chatbots to reply to all these different leads that you're getting every single day and plug in a virtual assistant that is a texter specialist to also help you generate leads and generate appointments to create conversations with highly qualified, motivated sellers. So in a way, you have control of your targeting. It's a faster cash conversion cycle. It's a really good way to get started. Just be very careful about doing it right now because of all regulations. And I know that a lot of people now are getting into iMessage cold message too, and at some point it's also going to be taken down. If you're going to use it, just make sure that you're compliant. There's different tools that will allow you to use it properly, such as Launch Control or Lead Sherpa, and you're going to be able to use it better with those tools. Some people use Go High Level, but I don't really recommend that you use Go High Level for cold SMS because they're not really made for that specific thing. So use Launch Control or Lead Sherpa. And number 8 is going to be Facebook ads to get motivated sellers, which is one of my most favorite because a lot of people don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to do this properly. There's 3 components on the best performing ad. And in order to do the best Facebook ads for motivated sellers, you have to generate great creatives, whether that's a static creative and a video, and have a great targeting with your pixel, which is data driven based on the different conversion events that you're doing, and also a great offer. And a lot of people just miss this in order to generate really good leads using motivated sellers. And they just think that they need to put a generic ad out there that says we buy houses, sell your house fast, cash for homes. That's gonna stop working. You're gonna be seeing like every single wholesaler that runs Facebook ads out there or every single one of these gurus that is teaching you how to run Facebook ads the same way over and over. And I don't want to mention anyone, but they just tell you to do the same thing that everyone is running. And instead, you need to be more creative. Whether that's creating different skits and different scripts that are specific to attract motivated sellers with high intent, with pain-based type of videos, or solution-based type of videos that are going to attract the seller. Now, remember that the best creatives are the ones that are bold, that are punchy, and that actually are going to get the attention of people that are your ideal client profile. And you can also create different static creatives to get their attention. And the targeting itself, you have to use a pixel, and the pixel needs to be fed with the right data. For example, in our agency, we know every single lead, every single appointment, contract, deal, and we get feedback loops back into the algorithm. And the pixel gets fed better every single day. And the last thing is gonna be the offer. So if you say what everyone says, which is we buy houses for cash, then you're gonna be part of the noise. You become a commodity. And instead, what if you can give $1,000 guaranteed on top of the sale, or $5,000 if something happens? So this way you can actually grab control of your competition and differentiate yourself by having a great offer. If you haven't read about the $100 million offers by Alex Hormozi, read it, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, cash conversion cycle is gonna take about 60 to 92 days. If you wanna be safe, just think that in the first 3 months, you're not gonna have a return of investment from click to close because it takes time to get deals. So if you're expecting quick cash and return of investment, this is not going to be good for you. In fact, almost every single marketing channel has this time lapse of stamina, marketing stamina. You can be highly targeted if you do the right copywriting and the right creative. So a lot of people that say you cannot be targeted, it's because you don't know what you're doing. And in order to pre-qualify to get real motivated sellers, just have a quiz funnel that is pain-based. If you are asking pain-based questions and have a video sales letter that are going to prime the lead and indoctrinate the lead before the lead comes in and talks to your rep, then you're gonna have a better lead than anyone else. And make sure that you optimize towards appointments, because this is gonna give you better data, because appointments are a more qualified lead because they have higher intent, right? So you optimize for that, you're gonna get better leads. One of the best things that you can do is you can retarget every single person that you have cold email or cold call, or whenever you're running Facebook ads, or maybe they visited your website, you can retarget them with testimonials, case studies, with you being in a video and just telling them that you're a human being and you can trust them because you have helped other people in similar situation. You have the credibility, social proof, and a good offer. Number 7 is gonna be Google Seller PPC. And this is one of my favorite ones, and ultimately the most effective inbound marketing channel that exists out there. Now, why is it the most effective? It's because people are going and search online. Now, you have to understand that there's different type of Google Ads seller leads. There's gonna be your display network, which is basically disruption marketing. And there's also gonna be your search network. So essentially people that are going on the search bar and searching for keywords and search terms like, I need to sell my house fast here in Miami. These are very high intent seller leads, and the cash conversion cycle, it ranges between 45 to 60 days. It may take some time for you to actually get started with this, and if you don't have the budget to do this, don't even think about it. You can actually buy per lead. I'm gonna cover that later here today, but you're gonna have to allocate from $3,000 to $5,000 at a minimum per month in order to get some sort of traction using Google Ads in your market. It just depends where you're located. And the leads could go from $150 all the way to $500, $600 cost per lead. This is a really good marketing channel to combine it with Facebook, because both are gonna be working together. If you do Facebook ads and Instagram ads combined with Google Ads, everything's gonna be retargeting each other. So once you install the Google Ads and Facebook Ads pixel on each respective landing pages, they're gonna be working on tandem. So when people go and search online that I need to sell my house, then they're gonna see your ad. So if you go to Google right now, you're gonna check out that there's almost 4 ads. And these ads are based on search terms. you do I need to sell my house in your area, you're gonna see almost all the time for ads. And the fifth one is gonna be a search engine optimization. We're gonna cover that later. But this way, you're gonna be talking with people that have a high intent and a high level of motivation. Now, not everyone would want to work with you because they're also looking at your competition. So there is a give and take in this channel. You have to be better at sales and then ultimately differentiate yourself from the competition. Just because they're doing a search and high intent, they're not gonna give away the house to you. You just have to be better at having conversations and closing the gap that they have. This is why you have to be better at sales and learning from different people like RJ Bates or Jeremy Miner or Steve Trank and so on in order to get the most out of these leads. I wouldn't recommend that you do this right away once you're getting started because of the level of quality of these leads. So if you fuck it up, then you're gonna lose a lot of money. Make sure that you're doing the work every single day of putting negative keywords and actually having high intent search terms going to a specific landing page that is specifically talks with your ideal client profile with the specific copywriting and potentially using your brand. If you're not using a brand, that's okay, totally okay. You're gonna use a generic brand that has some sort of reputation or a great social proof so that these leads start trusting you more. At this point, it's similar to Facebook. You have to indoctrinate these leads versus your competition. If you have a better offer, right, and a better creative video sales letter that indoctrinates the leads and pre-sells the leads before they ever talk to you, this is how you actually differentiate yourself from the competition. The most important thing is that you get to the lead real fast. And this applies for both Instagram, Facebook, and Google ads. If you don't get to the lead real fast, then you're gonna lose this lead over another REI that is faster than you. Number 6 is gonna be YouTube advertising. And yes, YouTube is here and is very similar to Facebook and to Google. It's kind of like a combination. If you have noticed, maybe YouTube has YouTube Shorts, but it also has in-stream ads or ads that appear right before the video starts. And this means that there is a combination between search and disruption marketing. You can generate leads that are very cheap for a medium cash conversion cycle. So for example, $60 to $80 a lead you can generate in your market, but the key thing here is your video. So if your videos suck and your creative sucks and then ultimately your offer sucks, then this is gonna suck. You're gonna waste a lot of marketing spend. I would tell that you should be doing Google ads and Facebook ads with a company that knows what they're doing. So for example, us, Hessel Media, we are specialized in disruption marketing. So we're really good at Meta ads, Facebook, Instagram ads. And we're very good at creating creatives, at having a great offer positioning to attract motivated sellers, creating funnel pages and just entire funnels, sales funnels from click to close. And we're really good at Google ads as well. So you can potentially check us out to see here in the comments below and book a call with us. If everything makes sense, we'll start working together. And number 5 is gonna be any niche lists, whether you cold call, cold email, cold direct mail, do cold SMS, doesn't really matter. As long as you're having really rich data with different service providers or data providers out there. And I'm gonna list you a few of those providers so you have a better idea where to get them from. The first one is getting highly intent data from PropStream or batch leads that is going to give you high level filters about motivation. The deeper you go into a niche list, the better. However, you're gonna spend more money because at the end of the day, it's still a numbers game. You're still gonna be rejected. You're still gonna have a specific pickup ratio. You're still gonna have motivated sellers or people that are gonna tell you, yeah, just give me $1 million, but you haven't just built trust just yet, and they're in a level of motivation where they just need a little bit more of nurture. You can also go to county records or public notices websites, and it will have a more targeted approach about your lists. And the more that you actually pull this list and you have a sequence of pulling a list every single month or every single week as they update it in the county records, you're gonna be able to have more targeted approach. Another good one is MLS approach. You can take a look at the MLS, what has expired recently or what's been taking long to actually sell, and reach out to those sellers that are selling the house through an agent in the MLS and do some sort of collaborative approach. There's other websites like ListSource that also allows you to filter out different type of leads based on motivation, the stress level, or condition of the property, and this helps you do a more of a targeted cold approach. Number 4 is going to be direct to agent outreach, or a lot of people call this reverse wholesaling. The reason why this works really well, it's because it's very relationship driven. So imagine that you have a big brand in your market and every single agent actually knows you for buying their deals and actually helping them monetize some of the sellers that they can't really help. What if you can help almost every single agent out there that has a property of a distressed seller that they don't know how to handle? So this is a relationship driven goldmine, and it's very underutilized properly. And the way that most wholesalers approach this is very transactional. So therefore, you're gonna lose the sale because agents care more about relationships than anything else. They're relationship driven individuals and they actually have their circle very, very tight. They call it the circle of influence. And therefore, if you don't really build face-to-face relationships with agents, it's going to be very hard for you to make money using this approach. A lot of different gurus out there are actually teaching this approach, such as Jamil Damji, but a lot of newbies that don't know how to build relationships, have a proper sales process, have true conversations, actually gain the trust of agents, are really messing this up, and it's messing the entire space of wholesaling. And actually I've seen really funny conversations online of live calls that they do to agents, and since agents are really tricky to work with because a lot of agents don't really take this seriously as a career, they just take it as a regular job, you're gonna waste a lot of time. So therefore, since it's relationship driven approach and it's also long-term type of ROI, you're gonna spend a lot of time building relationships with the agents. Yes, it can pan off in the long term, and the better that you build your brand, you're gonna have a better return of investment because brand is what grows exponentially. So post in Facebook groups, post in the YouTube channel, cold call your agents, have actual relationships with agents. If you have the time, build the relationships yourself or hire someone that will build relationships with agents that are in your team so that this person is always bringing in leads and deals from agents, because sellers approach agents usually first. And sometimes these sellers cannot be helped by this agent, so the agent will come to you. Number 3 is going to be retargeting and AI follow-up systems. And this is something that a lot of people don't do really well. And the reason why it's one of my most favorite channels and tools to actually approach motivated seller lead generation is because it uses a lot of social proof, testimonials, case studies, and shows that you are the person who you say you are. But if you're doing this in a daily and weekly basis every single time that you do a transaction and a deal with a seller or a buyer, then you're gonna utilize this in order to retarget people using advertising. And this retargeting can happen in a few ways. You can literally use Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google display ads, YouTube ads to retarget sellers that you already spoken with, but they're on the fence, or they have opted in the past, but they're on the fence, or they opened your email, but they're on the fence, and you're just gonna show them the proof that you are the best person for this job. Either show a seller testimonial or a case study, or show any type of results that you've had before and after, before a seller came to you and after they actually started working with you, and the type of results that they actually got. You can do reaction videos to these seller testimonials. You can literally do a short form video of the seller case studies or interviews that you do the seller case studies. You can literally print off all your Google reviews and just take a picture with it, or do a video showing every single one of them. Go over every single BBB review and do that in video format, and you're gonna gain the trust of sellers. You can actually send them to a overloaded testimonial funnel, where it's going to be a funnel that gets them back into your pipeline and show every single testimonial case study that you have ever done. And you have videos uploaded in YouTube with every single case study and testimonial, just like the way that we do it. This is going to increase the trust that sellers need from you. And if you do copywriting well and you're telling these people that are on the fence of working with you, then you're gonna grab people that are already nurtured and ready to work. They just need a little bit of a push because they don't trust you just yet fully. And this retargeting can also be done with emails and SMS marketing. This method works so well that I want to expand on this because a lot of people don't know this. Literally, your ROI can be very fast because you're getting people that have been nurtured or have had a conversation with you before, or they're just on the fence. Maybe the time has passed and their motivation is so big now that they just need a reassurance of someone that is going to help them because they are highly motivated, they have a problem awareness, they have a solution awareness, that they know that there is a service out there. They just need to be fully engaged and indoctrinated, pre-sold with you. One good thing that you can actually do is whenever you're doing retargeting, make sure that you have a very clear video sales letter that again solves every single concern or objection that they would have with you, and then ultimately pre-sells them on you. And number two, it's gonna be one of the most powerful but long term. This is gonna take a long time to actually produce, and it's gonna be SEO, or search engine optimization. Whatever work you do in your website, it's going to be highly important. And I only know a few tools that do this really well. And that one is going to be carrot.com or whatever custom website that you actually do using WordPress or Webflow, you name it. Once you build your website, once you build the content on your website, you build on your brand, you actually start generating blogs or content, written content, and you're going to index this in Google, and the sellers start searching for you, it's game over. Now sellers are gonna come in with high intent of really solving their issue. And because they found you organically and they skipped all the ads from Google Ads because they don't wanna click on ads, they're gonna be coming to you highly motivated. It takes a long time to actually build this momentum though. It could take from 6 to 18 months to actually build a really good website. However, carrot.com has really good tools for you to actually build on top of it, because they also build technology on top of WordPress as well. And I even have really good friends that work in carrot.com that they can actually walk you through the entire thing. And I know the founder, amazing guy, and he's a very high level entrepreneur that is building something incredible for your seller lead generation. If you're a person that likes to write, if you're a person that likes technology, and you understand the power of long-term investment, working on your SEO for your real estate wholesaling business in the local market that you are in, or even in multiple markets that you have, it's gonna be very worth it. Once you start doing this, you're gonna actually get the fruits of that labor moving forward. And once you keep going with the content, putting in blogs, putting in content every single week, you're gonna get motivated sellers basically for free. And number one, which is one of my most favorite and underutilized one, it's gonna be AI reactivations using your CRM. And there's many CRMs out there that can help you do this type of automations and workflows. My number one CRM that I highly recommend is Go High Level. And with Go High Level, which there is a link in the description below, you can build something customized for wholesaling real estate, where you're going to wake up leads that have been dormant in your pipeline. Think of so many leads that are in your pipeline that you haven't closed just yet, or hot, warm, or even just a little bit cold leads that you can reactivate and retarget once again with a really good offer. I created a video that walks you through all the scripts and the different type of offers that you can actually go through, but this is one highly effective lead generation machine that you can do right now, literally with the current leads that you have. If you've been running lead generation with other marketing channels for years or for months, I'm pretty sure you have over 100 leads sitting in your database, or 1,000 leads. Imagine how many leads you can actually reactivate with the right automations and workflows using a reactivation campaign. And a lot of people don't even think about this, but have you ever submitted a form and then they started following up, and at some point they give you promotions, discounts, or better offers about a service? It's the same thing. As long as you're applying it for the real estate space, for sellers to have a better offer, you're gonna be able to close a lot more deals. Imagine if you close 1 or 2 extra deals just with the lead that you currently have. You just pay 3 cents on the dollar by sending an SMS and then an email and an RVM retargeting these people. And the beautiful thing is that once you capture these people, they're right there, motivated. They're ready to listen to your offer. And the good thing is that you have full control of who you're gonna send it to because they are already in your pipeline. Plus, you can also combine ChatGPT workflows or steps so you can have AI responses or follow up using a human-like, but it's gonna be AI-driven type of follow-up mechanisms and responses that then help you book more appointments with leads that are already in your pipeline. How awesome is that? There's different CRMs like Ari, Simply, or the Carrot CRM or Investor View CRM that are also very, very valuable for you to do. But my favorite one is going to be Go High Level. There's a link in the description below so you can actually sign up to Go High Level. And I think it's only like $97 a month, and it has everything that you need in order to actually explode your business. Make sure that you actually put together a good follow-up drip, a good reactivation drip. You think of different offers that could be very valuable. Watch that video for sure that I put together for you. And then do this every single month. At the beginning of the month or end of the month, you can do this. You can launch these reactivation campaigns or re-offer campaigns that are going to bring leads that were dormant or dead back to life and book more appointments. I put together a table with every lead generation channel and tool so you can actually download it in the description below. And if you're looking to get motivated sellers online or generate more leads for your real estate wholesaling business, you can always book a call in the link below. And last but not least, it's gonna be the different lead generation platforms that you can buy every single lead individually that would integrate every single channel that I just talked about. There's different pay-per-lead companies out there, and my favorite one is the last one. So you can start with motivatedseller.com. Motivatedseller.com is a platform that they fully built, customized, and you can actually bid on different leads in different counties, and you start buying right now. You can literally create an account for free and start buying leads right now. Their reputation has been up and down, but I know that they have been working on the lead quality. One of the things that you need to be careful about is that they don't really tell you where each lead comes from. So you don't know if it is a cold email campaign or is a Google display network or is a Google search network or it's a Facebook ad or Instagram ad or TikTok, YouTube. They don't tell you where it comes from. Another good pay-per-lead company is Property Leads. And Property Leads started by sending SEO leads, and then they started generating leads using Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, Google ads, and they have a really good reputation. I also know that owners and different communities and masterminds use them as well. Another good one, it's gonna be iSpeed to Lead, which is gonna be a very fancy marketplace that you can visit and start buying leads right now. Now, they're a little bit pricey, but they actually show you where the leads actually come from. If you're wondering how it works, you can literally go visit iSpeed to Lead marketplace right now. There's another one called LeadZolo, and I know the owners of this company. We met at Wholesaling Live, where we both were actually promoting our company. It's a Canadian company that they also built their own marketplace and selling the leads. They started by selling leads from YouTube, and then they started generating leads on Facebook, on Instagram. But one of the things is that they also do not display where each lead comes from. So it's going to be very hard for you to have a control or some sort of visibility about the channel that they use to generate leads. And my favorite one is GetSellers.io. This platform actually shows you where the lead is located in the map, where the lead came from, whether that's Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google Display Network, Google Search, TikTok, YouTube, cold email, and you will be able to see the property right there and there and see all the other contracts and appointments that all the users are getting in a day-to-day basis. This way, you're able to see what type of results everyone is getting in this platform. And at the same time, you're gonna be able to give instant feedback loops to the platform so that your leads get better over time. One of the biggest things that you gotta do in advertising is to give feedback back into the algorithm. So when you give feedback, the campaign will improve. So the better feedback, the more feedback, the tighter feedback loops that you give, then the leads are gonna be much better. Again, if you get appointments, get that feedback back into the algorithm. If it's a marketed qualified lead, get that feedback back into the algorithm. Have scoring systems for your leads. So this way you have a better intent seller and you will always be showing it to better, higher quality leads. So if you really like this video, please leave a comment below, subscribe to this channel, and give me the thumbs up to help the algorithm so that I can actually create more of these type of videos. And don't forget to download this document that I created for you with every single lead generation tool and lead generation channel, because I'm in the mission of helping over 10,000 real estate investors and wholesalers scale their business to the moon using proper lead generation channels. So I hope that you liked it. Subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you.